My name is Jonathan Parks, and welcome to Jonathan's Nature Crafts. I must inform you that I do not live in this house by myself, but live here with other people. Sometimes other members of the household may have to walk through areas where I might be recording with other family members on the phone. If you hear any noise like that, please feel free to disregard. We are doing our best to get noise canceling equipment, which may at least keep you from hearing exactly what is being said. Thank you for considering. Okay, so as for one little moment we have to have here, I say that there's been a little work that's come along on these little critters, these little Santa Clauses, and by the way, probably should try to sharpen up this knife a little more. And I'd say there comes a time when you might have to stop talking a while so you can concentrate on how many strokes of the knife you're doing. You want to do the same number of strokes on each side. If you use a strop like this, and just that, it's best to do 50 strokes altogether. We just did 20 with both sides and 15 with one side. We'll do 15 with the other. And one last time. Oh, and I say there comes a little time when I guess we'll come around here and take care of this little extra bit of work. Try to, I say, remove from around little edges and take care of special little curvy sides that, whoa, I say, all the things that'll last you. Can't really go too far. They get so freaking crazy you just can't manage the crap out of it. And so I say hit the jive and come down to where you kind of get just the right amount of work to come into a piece. Curve off this little area, take it down to a good little place where it ought to go and be, down to just what you see. And I say, little strange dreams happen in life. I tell y'all, it just comes a time when we're going to sort of work down this little hatch, try to remove what comes along, goes along, and takes care of all the stuff we have. And with this little chippling stuff, it goes down to where we see just a little plain-sightedness of a good little carving of a good old Saint Nick. And say with all these, with what we have of them, come by to tell y'all that this is just a great amount of work to take to a show once the time comes to do it. Sometimes, just sometimes, I don't know how long I have to live on this earth. Don't know how much longer my life is going to last. Don't really know what I'm going to live to see, what I'm going to live to do, what I'm going to live to accomplish, but I believe that God has a purpose in everything. When it comes down to just the ways He has us to be used for His kingdom, there's always going to be things that shall show themselves so bright and strong to us. And so much in life, I say, we accomplish a lot. I'd like to tell you a story about how it was last night when I was at the Y in the pool. Saw a young adult lady and her mother there. She kind of appeared to be special needs in a way, almost kind of like I was, so decided since they were there together, I'd walk up to them just to say hello, ask them how they were. They kind of appreciated the little bit of conversation we had, so it's just one of those things where I just kind of tell people about how I'm special needs myself and just kind of care about people and have a way that I just kind of reach out sometimes and just kind of see little needs that come along in places, and just kind of always having a desire to reach out. Sometimes there are some situations in life where, you know, you just can't always be the one to approach people to talk to them. There are some situations in life where, you know, somebody who's a stranger who you don't know well really kind of needs their space, and it's best not to invade it. And sometimes, just sometimes, I mean, you know, little does anybody know what your intentions are if they don't know you. That's just among the things I discover in life as I just kind of move along with things. Sometimes, just sometimes, it's always like, you know, people don't know what to expect of a stranger, you know, because I always had that misunderstanding in my younger years working in a hospital, how it was with different employees of different departments, how they didn't know me, they didn't know who I was, they really didn't know what to expect of me, they didn't always know how to trust me with everything I said to them, every way I tried to reach out to them, because it's just among those things where, you know, if people are strangers, they can never think that everything's good. There gets to be so much in the news. I mean, back in the days around 2005 when I was working in the hospital, there were just a lot of children getting abducted, and had like a manager there who was telling me all about that, and that being just all the things in which people just have to be so much more cautious these days, because you never know what a person's intentions might be. Like, there was that old song that went, picking up strangers, never aware of the danger. Some are just common things they say. Some folks that help along the way. I kind of don't really always kind of recall exactly what all the lyrics to those songs were in the days when they were played, but as you see, I'll tell y'all what I did was I chipped off the front of the sleeve to kind of make it so the cuffs stick out a little more. Kind of got a little ways to go about this, make a little cut or two extra, kind of make it along the way to where this little ho-ho St. Nicholas is just going to be kind little caricature of faith and humanity. I always had a quote about how the flesh of humanity is like that of snakes and rats, and all this stuff about how, we just have a natural tendency to be nasty to people, but how that the spirit of humanity is like an oyster. The fact that we kind of have the troubles in our lives, and that sand that irritates an oyster's belly turns into a pearl. And in the same way, it's like if we can also just let the trouble be things that make a little good out of us, and we can also make it into pearls of wisdom, pearls of kindness. And that's one of the things where I was kind of talking with this young lady last night and telling her about, just how saying people like you and me with these special needs, we can only either become bitter or better. She kind of mentioned she'd heard that philosophy. I kind of mentioned a few things I kind of did when I was younger, and how I came up with that quote that said, I choose charity over bitterness. People always ask me what that quote meant. It just had a real meaning to me. Even my therapist asked me that the other day, and it was just a lot to say, but I just want to say that the conversation was good last night. She appreciated it so much. Kind of hearing from a person who understands and has quite the understanding point of view with things. I say that there's probably a place or two here where we can carve along the back of the hood now, make it so it's going to come out a little more curvy wise, and see how good Saint Nick is going to be when we all get done with him in the end. And I say that this little goodness of a mercy of a show can always have a great end. I say that tomorrow shall be great because I'm going out there to that little place, that place that is down in Kirksville in Richmond, Kentucky, that Kirksville Community Center, and they have that little playground behind the center that kind of like they call Kirksville Park. That is out where the Christmas in July gathering is going to be. That's where I'll be out kind of selling my nice stuff to people and getting little words out about what I have to share and to do. And I say that business shall get better at times, and people always kind of enjoyed seeing what I made. I say that hopefully I can always grow older and just have things get a little legendary, be able to last a little more longer in this world. For all things I have to share, somebody's going to know that the time shall come that I shall really be able to work a lot harder and make things of so much better value to you and me, and to many more people who will just simply be out to shop for things and have a little happy days in our lives. People have always enjoyed seeing my carvings around their houses. They tell me how they put them up on their mantles, upon their TVs, upon their windows, upon their shelves. Oh, little decorations that come in every way, shape, and size to make us all see human exactness in the world, and how it all just kind of measures up equally to all we have to do and to say. I say that this is just carving experience, This is just the work of my hands. I can kind of get a lot of callus in my hand and make it so I can kind of show a little strength and valor to those who don't know what my powers are, and strength and weakness goes a long way. I say that this little object of valor is just my little masterpiece, and come down to where we trim off the back of the shoulders and the elbows to make it all come round and curvy in the back, as you see. And removing wood shouldn't be too much of an issue here. We shall get down to what we have with the pieces as they go, as they come. Mighty long way. I tell you, you know, I just spent a lot of time yesterday coming through this area, sweeping up chips, and I'd say that with all we've kind of got going on with family and in the basement, and we're even kind of trying to work things out with my bedroom where maybe we get some people in to try to paint or even wash some walls in there, because we are having a time when we gotta have a ways to look out to other people and know what other people have and need and share and do. And I say for all this mess, it's all going to be a little something that we'll be sweeping up here one day, get it all up out of the way, like all that little sawdust and little wooden chips that might have been in that stable that baby Jesus was in, and all this stuff about how, you know, some people just thought that a lot of things of that stable that were said to get people's attention, like thinking that it had manure on the ground. Nobody knows that for sure. That's something I've heard preachers say in their sermons. The Bible don't say it. I tell y'all that this is just kind of my way of saying to thank you all for coming on, for watching, for being in touch, for doing all things. Thank you always. Goodbye. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I hope to see you in the next video. Stay tuned.